The Mermaid and the Mysterious Beach. On a beautiful sandy beach, where the water was so clear you could see the bottom, lived a mermaid named Marta. Marta was unique. She had long, shimmering hair that glistened with all the colors of the rainbow, and a tail that sparkled in the sun. She lived there with her younger sister, Milenka, who was equally beautiful, but had a completely different character. Milenka loved to play in the sand, build castles, and invent her own games. Marta often felt angry when Milenka did things differently than she wanted. When Milenka built sandcastles, Marta wanted them to be exactly as she imagined. And when Milenka played with seashells, Marta wanted her to do it her way. When Milenka did something differently, Marta would get angry and sometimes even hit her sister. One sunny day, when Marta was once again angry with Milenka, she decided to swim to the edge of the beach, where she rarely ventured. There, in the shadow of a large rock, she met a wise crab named Krabek. Krabek wore an old shell hat and looked at Marta with a smile. "Hello, Marta," said Krabek. "I see you're very angry. What happened?" Marta told Krabek about her problems with Milenka, and how much it bothered her when Milenka did things differently. Krabek nodded and said, "I understand, Marta, but do you know that everyone has the right to do things their own way? Even your sister Milenka." Marta looked at Krabek in disbelief. "But it's so hard," she exclaimed. "It really bothers me when Milenka doesn't do what I want." Krabek smiled mysteriously and pulled out a beautiful shiny shell from the sand. "I have something special for you," he said. "This shell is magical. I found it on the shore of the sea. It will help you understand how to deal with emotions and accept the differences between you and Milenka." Marta took the shell in her hand and felt it warm and comforting. "What should I do with it?" she asked. Krabek replied, "When you feel angry, hold the shell close to your heart and close your eyes. Think of something that makes you happy. It will help you calm down." The next day, Marta decided to try Krabek's advice. Milenka was building a sandcastle again, but this time completely differently than Marta would have liked. Marta felt anger rising in her heart, but instead of hitting her sister, she took the shell and held it to her heart. She closed her eyes and thought of the beautiful, colorful fish swimming around her in the sea. When she opened her eyes, she felt calmer. She looked at Milenka's castle and noticed that although it was different, it was also beautiful. She smiled at her sister and said, "Your castle is really nice, Milenka." Milenka looked at Marta with surprise and smiled broadly. "Thank you, Marta," she replied. Marta began to use the shell more often when she felt angry. Over time, she noticed that she was getting angry with Milenka less and less. Instead, she began to appreciate the differences between them and enjoy their shared games. However, one day, when Marta and Milenka were playing on the beach, a great storm appeared. The waves were huge, and the wind blew so hard it swept everything off the beach. Marta and Milenka hid behind the big rock, but Marta felt her heart beating faster with fear. Then she remembered the shell. She held it to her heart and closed her eyes. She thought of the calm sea and the sun that always shone on their beach. When she opened her eyes, she felt braver. "Milenka, we need to find a safe place," she said. "Let's go to our hideout." Milenka hugged Marta, and together they ran to the hideout, where they could shelter from the storm. When the storm passed, they went out to the beach and saw that everything was back to normal. The sun was shining again, and the sea was calm. After this event, Marta realized that she could handle not only anger, but also difficult situations. Milenka began to look at her older sister with admiration and respect. "You are very brave, Marta," said Milenka. "Thank you for protecting me." Marta smiled and hugged her sister. "Together we are stronger," she replied. From that day on, Marta and Milenka spent even more time together, enjoying their differences and learning new things from each other. Marta learned that everyone has the right to their own ideas and ways of playing. And Milenka knew that Marta would always be kind to her and never hit her again. Dear children, are you wondering what else might have happened on this mysterious beach? What other adventures could Marta and Milenka have experienced? Or perhaps you imagine what you would do in Marta's place if you had a magical shell. Remember that each of us is different, and it's these differences that make life interesting and full of surprises. When you feel angry, try to find a way to calm down and look at the situation from a different perspective. Maybe you have your own magical shells that help you deal with emotions.